Hello all again. Just a quick video. I've been doing a little bit of work on the Miata. I haven't got the Mega Squirt plug and play in yet, but I have done a few things since the last time I was over here. I've been working on the 3 mostly, so this is just going to be a quick thing about a few updates on the Miata. The first of which is the Mishimoto radiator. And I've also installed this, basically it's a block-off plate that keeps all the air going through the new radiator instead of being open. This one originally, the Mishimoto is a lot bigger than the stock radiator, and because of that I had to cut off, there's a bend that ran down along here. I had to remove that in order to have this fit with the Mishimoto radiator. Let me tell you about the Mishimoto radiator. Cooling wise, outstanding. It took forever for this thing to get up to temperature when I was testing to make sure that everything was done right, there were no leaks, and that the fans came on when they were supposed to. The thing was, what I don't like about the Mishimoto is when I originally got this almost 2 years ago, this shroud wasn't properly, the tabs on the shroud were not properly done. So I called Mishimoto at the time and they said, oh well, yeah, we had that problem a while back, but we thought we got them all off the market, so would you mind telling us where you got yours? I said Summit Racing. He said, okay, thanks. And that was it. I mean, that's kind of messed up. It wasn't a problem for me because I'm pretty damn good at fabricating things, so I basically just had to make these little extension tabs here in order for the fan shroud to fit properly. I shouldn't have had to have done that. What Mishimoto should have done would have been like, oh well, we'll just send us back that fan shroud that's the wrong size and we'll send you a new one. They didn't do that. I think that they if they wanted to really have some good customer service, that's what would have been done, but they didn't do that. The other beef I had with them is these brackets that attach to the side here. When I initially went to install this Mishimoto radiator, which was supposed to be an easy installation, yeah, right, it wasn't. And the main reason it was is because these holes in the side here weren't drilled properly, spacing-wise. You can see from the back side there that they're elongated, but that's up and down. What they needed to be was drilled more this direction, because when I initially installed this radiator, it was about a ½ an inch from the bottom away from the back of the air conditioner condenser, and at the top it was a good 1/8 of an inch. And you can see now that it's right up there the way it's supposed to be. I had to remove these end brackets and re-drill those holes so that it fit in there properly. It was in there so far out at the bottom that it was touching my sway bar. And this is a stock sway bar. I mean, granted, this is an R package, so it's slightly larger than normal. But it was still too big and still too far away, and I think that Mishimoto really dropped the ball on. I mean, if this was somebody who didn't have the skills that I have in making things work that are supposed to work and end up not, this turned into about a 3-hour job for me, getting this Mishimoto radiator in there, and it was kind of a pain in the ass when it didn't really need to be, and all that's because Mishimoto didn't drill the holes in the brackets properly. As far as the product goes, I'm very pleased with it. Like I said, when I was testing it, it took forever for this to get up to temperature, and that was just with the car sitting here. You know, in the end, I think it's still worth it, but yeah, they could have done things a lot better and make it easier for, you know, the average person who's going to be putting this in. The main reason I'm doing this video is not because of this Mishimoto radiator. That just happened to be one of the things I've done in the interim. The main thing is I just tonight finished my installation of my Suzuki Cappuccino washer bottle relocation. And I originally wanted to do this, but at the time, Flying Miata had this for like 180 bucks, and I ended up finding a way to where I got it directly from Japan for like, I think shipped it was like $70 shipped. You can't beat that deal with a stick. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with the bracketry that it does when it comes from Flying Miata. But I mean, that's not a big deal. I went online, I found out where a guy had installed this when he just got the tank. And you basically just have to make these two brackets, a bracket here and another bracket over here. You can't really see all that well. But yeah, you make a couple of brackets with 1/4-inch holes drilled through them. This one is 35 millimeters center to center. This one's 45 millimeters center to center. And then you just put a bolt through there. I used a piece of rubber hose that fits over the bolts that I used as a spacer to space it away from there. And it's in there really nice. And you get rid of about a foot of, this is the amount of excess hose that you're no longer using. And you just have to splice in about 4 feet of additional wire. I got mine off a Mazda wiring harness so that it's actual Mazda wire, proper gauge, almost the right color. I didn't have the exact color that long enough, but then I routed it through the grommet where the hose used to go and zip tied it along the bear all the way up to the pump motor that's now over there. You can see over there. And by shortening that hose, I should actually get a lot better velocity of the water coming out of those sprayer units. You have to run the units that direction. Like that Y used to be on this one going this direction, so you just unplug that, you twist these around so that it goes that direction, and then just reroute your hose over that way. And look at the huge amount of room that this frees up. I was originally going to use these holes from my old sorry about that, I had a little glitch there. I was originally going to use these holes that were from my old rising rate fuel pressure regulator to mount my Bob's Autosport oil air separator that I'm going to get for that. But since it opened up so much room over here, and since these are already, you know, good to go, I think I'm more likely to actually mount it right here and just route the hoses around over here to the, you know, where it intercepts the PVC hose. But I just wanted to do this video to show you how neatly that goes in there. I added this zip tie just to keep the hose away from the windshield washer actuator. But this was fairly straightforward. I mean, you just got to make 2 brackets, and then you don't have to drill any holes for this. Lengthen the wire, and you know, in the end, you free up a boatload of space over here that can be better utilized for something other than that big washer bottle. And to be quite frank, I don't drive the Miata in conditions where I'm going to use an unnecessary amount of washer fluid. I don't drive it in the winter. I don't drive it in the snow. I don't drive it in the rain. It's a garage queen, basically, unless I'm, you know, out in the rain with a lot of bugs on the way to the Deal's Gap or something. I'm really not going to use that much washer fluid. And to be honest, also, that reservoir is actually the same amount that the, well, it's a little bit less than the stock one, but not tremendously so. I mean, that's more than enough for any usage that the Miata is going to face. Probably the next video on this will be me putting the, after I have the Mega Squirt in there, and then I'll be able to drive this car again. And it's been way too long. I miss driving this car. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.